Welcome back to Pen and Reel. I'm your host, Uncle Joel. Let's talk doom metal. So this issue picks up right where we left off last time, as our heroes are journeying through the field of Starros. Everyone here is being affected mentally by the Starros, and they're seeing things that aren't really there. And Lex Luthor and Nightwing are the only ones who are not affected by the Starros. And Joshua Williamson does something really interesting here in explaining how Nightwing broke free of the Starros' control, whereas the others are not able to. But he really uses the character's history and development in a very significant way here. It's incredibly well done, and it's an example of how a writer can use a character's continuity, even things that people don't like about their continuity, in order to further propel the character forward, and explore where they are now, even in light of these things that people don't like. It honestly reminds me of the way Geoff Johns has always approached continuity, where he says that everything counts, and he's not going to just wave away the things of the past, but he's going to take them and incorporate them into his storytelling, whether they were things that were good or bad. This is something that he did well with the Titans, and then especially with his work on Green Lantern. It would have been very easy for a new writer to come in and, even bringing back Hal Jordan, to just kind of ignore and brush aside all the Parallax things, but instead of brushing it aside, Geoff Johns took Parallax and made it an essential part of the story. And I feel like Joshua Williamson is really doing that here. And this is further solidifying in my mind the fact that Joshua Williamson is one of DC's current best writers. Now that being said, there are a couple of sequences that don't quite work for me. For instance, and this is a slight spoiler, there's a sequence where Detective Chimp is still hallucinating, and Nightwing rides in on the horse and grabs Detective Chimp, and Detective Chimp is still hallucinating even after Nightwing grabs him. And then Nightwing shouts, "Sorry, Chimp!" and Detective Chimp snaps out of it. It's not really clear what Nightwing did to snap him out of it. It took a lot more than just grabbing someone or saying certain words in order for the other characters to snap out of it. So it's not really clear to me just what's going on here with Detective Chimp. Now, I don't know if that's the art or if it's the writing, if they just decided, okay, we need to just quickly move past this. But whatever the case, I feel like that segment was poorly done and didn't really make a lot of sense. But aside from that, this continues to be a very character-driven story. And in my mind, that serves to be a very effective way of exploring the Metalverse. We're not simply being told, the world is different, here's a quick glimpse of it, alright, let's move on, you accept that things are different. We're actually getting to delve into the psyche of these characters, and getting to see them reflect on things. This is characters affecting the world, and the world affecting the characters. It's a very important dynamic that so far I have felt is quite lacking in the main event. So whereas the main event is the big, blockbuster, balls-to-the-wall action style set piece that just does not stop moving, this kind of plays to the reverse, where yes, there is action, but the action serves to supplement and to explain and expound upon the story being told. It serves to deeper explore the characters, who they are, and where they're going. Now, similar to last issue, I don't feel like there is a whole lot of forward momentum, but I think that's because Joshua Williamson is really taking his time to explore the characters and delve deeper into this world, as opposed to charging forward to try to get certain story beats out. Compared to the main event, the story progression is a bit slow, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, and I think a lot of that is simply because I'm comparing it to the main event. In its own right, I do think this book has some pretty good pacing, and I'm happy so far with where it's going. And I'm definitely looking forward to how it plays out from here. But what do you think? If you've read the issue, do you enjoy it? Do you appreciate the slower, more personal approach to exploring the Metalverse? Do you feel like this book does a good job of making us feel like we're living in the Metalverse? How do you feel that Doom Metal so far compares to the Death Metal event? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what you think. If you could help me out in my battle against the YouTube algorithm by hitting like, I'd really appreciate it. And be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of my Dark Knight's death metal coverage. Until next time, this is Uncle Joel saying, stay tangible.